Well, good morning. Good morning. I'm Reverend Catherine Bonin, and it's my joy to welcome you this morning to the Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte. If this is your first time here, we are delighted that you've chosen to join us today. And because of modern technology, we're grateful to be able to touch so many lives through Zoom and Facebook and to share all the wonderful things that are happening here at CSL Charlotte. So please visit our website, cslcharlotte.org, where you can put in a prayer request or you can subscribe to find out all the great things that are happening here every week. We add the recordings of these Sunday services to this website as well. The Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte is a new thought community living in ancient wisdom philosophy that's based on the teachings of the science of mind. And the science of mind was developed in the early 20th century by writer, lecturer, and philosopher Ernest Holmes. Dr. Holmes was a man on a mission. He studied the truth from all the world's religions and spiritual traditions, and he developed fresh new ways for us to look at ourselves and to understand how we fit into the world. At CSL Charlotte, every philosophy, every religion, and every spiritual path is honored, along with every race, every sexual orientation, and every physical distinction. This is a very diverse community, and we know that there are many paths to the divine. You can call it God, you can call it peace, the universe, love, spirit, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter what you call it. What matters is that you have this deep personal relationship with it, and you know that it resonates and lives within you. You don't have to leave your philosophy or your nature of knowledge. You can join us anytime, wherever you are on your path. And we recognize and refer to the many holy scriptures that are out there, like the Bible, the Torah, the Gita, the Quran, just to name a few. Our vision statement is to continue a spiritual community, creating and preparing a succession of leaders for the future who can fully integrate, teach, and expose the science of mind principles. Those principles and messages and practices strengthen our minds, our body, and our spirits. One of our aims is to create a high collective consciousness for everyone in this community. We teach everyone the tools to do just that. So come and join us on Sundays and as we meet on Tuesday evenings at 6 o'clock Eastern. So welcome everyone and enjoy our service as we celebrate that powerful presence that lives within every one of us. And now it's my joy to pass the mic to our illustrious leader, Reverend Rosedale Jones.
And thank you, my sister, Reverend Catherine. You are so phenomenal. So welcome everybody, love streamers, virtual community, everybody, wherever you are, everywhere. Welcome to CSL Charlotte. It is the Mind, Body, Spirit Center. This is Women's History Month, and we have a special treat for you in regards to that. So in celebrating the integration of our mind, body, and spirit, we open up our Sunday celebrations with an affirmative prayer. So first on our platform, we have my prayer partner, right? We have Dr. Wanda from the early 2000s when we met. We have been back and forth prayer partners, and we're together again. So now we're getting even deeper, adding Reverend Karen to the power, and life just works perfectly when you got prayer partners. But the special part about it is she's opening us up today. So Dr. Wanda is going to give us a fabulous prayer and get this thing started. So Dr. Wanda, do us the honors.
Okay, so let's just bring ourselves to the present moment, releasing any attachment to anything that may have occurred this week or could possibly occur in the future. Just be here now, because I know that the purpose for this gathering today, for this community, is to be in community with like minds, with like spirits, in order to elevate and empower one another. And so I know right here and right now that happens through the talk that Reverend Rosedale gives, talking about boundaries today, because I know that boundaries are important. There are boundaries begging to be broken and boundaries that need to be had. And so right here, right now, I know that each and every one of us will hear what we need to hear at the level of our own awareness and awakening and our own relationship with spirit, because this community helps us to plug in, helps us to strengthen our personal relationships to spirit. And so right here and right now, I simply accept that today is amazing and the talk is amazing. And I give great thanks for each and every person who arrives here every single Sunday to donate their time, talent, and treasure to creating this safe space for everyone. So whoever you are, wherever you are, I know and accept that you are supposed to be here today. And we welcome you and I love you. And I know that you join that power of love and acceptance and oneness, unity, because there is only one. There is no separation. You are me, I am you. And as I speak these words for myself, I speak them for absolutely everyone here this morning. And because we are one, those words go out into the world. And so I know that everyone is embraced right here to now at the level of their humanity. So I give thanks and I turn it over to Reverend Rosedale, and so it is.
And so it is. So next on our platform is our reader, and that is my right hand, my left hand, my toenails, my fingernails. That's Alan A. And Alan is the A-team. So from the beginning of our relationship years ago to this day, I see a whole big bright light just coming through the universe, and he's about to blind the world with his truth. The man is powerful, he's on wheels, he is totally evolving, and I'm digging it. So one of the things I must say, I see that light in him. Oh, and it's powerful. So Alan's reading, I invite you to listen to this song right after it. And it's all about lessons being learned by Barbara Streisand. Now, to start us focusing on getting clarity with boundaries, just learn from our lessons and who we are. Now I invite you to take the words of Alan's reading and take the song to your heart and prepare yourself for getting clarity with boundaries. So Alan, do us the honors.
Hello, everybody. And today's reading is titled Taking Care of Ourselves. And it's from the book, The Language of Letting Go, Hazelden Meditation Series, written by Melody Beatty. We cannot simultaneously set a boundary and take care of another person's feelings. It's impossible. The two acts contradict. What a tremendous asset to have compassion for others. How difficult that same quality can make it to set boundaries. It's good to care about other people and their feelings. It's essential to care about ourselves too. Sometimes, to take good care of ourselves, we need to make a choice. Some of us live with a deeply ingrained message from our family or from church about never hurting other people's feelings. We can replace that message with a new one that says it's not okay to hurt ourselves. Sometimes, when we take care of ourselves, others will react with hurt feelings. That's okay. We will learn, grow, and benefit by the experience. They will too. The most powerful and positive impact we can have on other people is accomplished by taking responsibility for ourselves and allowing others to be responsible for themselves. Caring hurts. Caretaking doesn't. We can learn to walk around between the two. Today, I will set the limits I need to set. I will let go of my need to take care of other people's feelings and instead take care of me. I will give myself permission to take care of myself, knowing it's the best thing I can do for myself and others. And so.
Why did the right road take the wrong turn? Fabulous, as we just take a deep breath and inhale really deeply. And as we exhale, let's make sure we think of how the right road now can go the right way. You see, we know that when we do that, there are lessons that we need to learn. So all we have to do is switch the roads around. And then we can get more clarity in what's going on within us just by reflection. So Barbara Streisand, she has this song, but she meant for us to remember to go for the learning of the lessons that we need to learn instead of the why in such a sad way. See, what I love is how she also says that there is a higher power that she believes in, but in our darkest hours, sometimes she said, we may find it hard to understand. So just notice your lessons this week because it puts you in the gap so that you can start getting clarity with boundaries, as Alan talked about. And you also hear how I learned lessons from the people while getting clarity with boundaries throughout my life. So wiggle your fingers and your toes and integrate your mind, your body, and your spirit, and look around your space like for this wonderful gratitude that wells up inside of you and makes you feel like a new person every time a spiritual practice touches you. And every time something goes right, breathe it in. So I'm going to take a gratitude moment. And first, I'm going to give great thanks for our amazing, I was going to say all these names, Reverend Catherine for being there. She's my friend, my soul sister, and my prayer partner as well. So as also, I would like to also thank you, Alan. That reading did, Taking Care of Ourselves is the name of this reading, and it opened up our topic to get clear with boundaries. So that really brought the topic to life. So thanks, 18. So to that awesome Reverend Dr. Wanda, whatever, it's the same. Thank you for that heartfelt prayer because it really brings clarity to me too, and it brings it on back home to me. So speaking of prayer, our ecclesiastical team, including Reverend Catherine, will continue holding the light over our service for today. Because meanwhile, I can still hold the gratitude for all the people that have called me or emailed me about some healings that they've experienced. So I'm really happy to hear that. So first of all, let's just take a nice thought. And if you ever think about needing some, healings or whatever, just join our consciousness meetings and you can learn more about that shortly. So with our talk title, Getting Clarity with Boundaries and Communicating with Our Boundaries, just know this, is essential. And for us to really know that, because we want healthy relationships. Without the boundaries, we get what? Toxic ones. So if we don't inform people of what they should do and what they should not do to us and with us, they won't be able to respect our boundaries. Boundaries help us be defined to other people as who we are. See, everyone has different boundaries, and it has to be respected because they're working on what they're influenced by, which could be their culture, their personality, or whatever social settings that they are used to. And the biggest part is respect. Respect is essential within groups or personal relationships. And while those things can be a part of self-love, respect and love, let me tell you something, it's not truly the whole thing that self-care is about. You see, because self-care is really in the mindfulness. That's where it is, and that's where we find it. So taking care of our own well-being, being mindful in our own well-being. It's not an indulgence. It's not a luxury. It's not even selfish. People like to say it's selfish. It's not selfish. It's a right, R-I-G-H-T. So in order to maintain respect while putting boundaries in place, it's a good idea to recognize the rights and needs of others people too, for sure. But at the same time, make sure it's time to realize that you have no control of how they feel when you set your boundaries. Now, I noticed that sometimes a person's inner work was not done. So they hide behind their projection, and they may want to project it on us if they're shy and maybe, well, you got a rough personality, so if when I felt like that, I knew I had to get that work done. So I would expect that I need to stay away from a person like that. You know who it is, and they let you know. So I know that when a person makes the choice, they're making the choice anyway. So if they're not doing the self-care and if they're not doing the setting boundaries, then they're choosing not to do the work. And I'm okay with that. It's not something that I'm going to have guilt or shame about. So I choose not to have that guilt. So I stay away from people who are trying to project so that they can skip the real part, which is the inner work. So that's my self-care, and that is my right. We should all strive to be upfront and honest when we're setting our boundaries. So this way, while we're also being consistent with what we're saying and being, then it makes the whole relationship work well if both of us are being authentic. So when a person tells me that I don't need you to tell me that, or I don't need you to tell me that because I already know that, that's a fabulous boundary because they're letting me know. And all I can do at that point is respect that. They will never hear me speak about that again, or we won't even bring that. It's not an offensive thing. I know people think, well, I can't tell her because she got a strong personality. No, it's not offensive. I don't even see it as negative. In fact, I see it's the best way to stay friends because I know yours, you know mine. And if we both see that together, oh my God, it is phenomenal. See, it's important to understand that communication is key. It's the biggest key there is to getting clarity on boundaries on both sides. It's the balance between showing respect to people and establishing our own personal boundaries and respect from others. Like I said, everybody has different boundaries because of what they've been influenced by. Careful, know that. And if you can work with that, work with it. Because I noticed that over the past few years, there's been my culture has changed. My new culture is heavily built around spiritual practices, so much so that I really look for it in friends. And if I just think it's the best thing to talk about now, then what's disappointing me and what's not happy, whatever. So Dr. Wanda brought up this idea that binds us together to form these powerful vortexes that we do. And boy, oh boy, I think it's good to feel that power between a relationship, but that's just my culture now. What's yours? Know your new culture when it changes. You know, like, here's something else I know that's really big about boundaries is I love this article that I read the other day, and it gave a beautiful definition that I really love. It said, boundaries is a limit or an edge that defines you as separate from others. It just defines the separation. I don't know what other people's boundaries are unless they tell me, but I do know that it's good to speak mine. So clarity with boundaries is really a step towards being able to communicate openly with people and be happy within myself or yourself. Now, it's important to know where you stand and express your edge and how far you will go. You gotta know that first, because sometimes it's not always just cut and dry, straight. Draw the line in the sand, and just where I'm at, it doesn't need to be that. But when we say no to something that's asked of us, we are essentially reminding ourselves that our time, our energy, and our personal boundaries are valuable. We just remind ourselves of that when we say no and be authentic about it. This is a great way to boost self-esteem and confidence. It shows that we respect ourselves and our needs. Wow. Because saying no in certain situations can be powerful. It can be a powerful way to demonstrate just how much worth we place on ourselves. We have this thing in the consciousness meter say, I am deserving. Well, act like it. Really be deserving, because Alan's reading speaks volumes in my life, and I'm sure as well his too. But when I heard what he said, I said, oh my goodness, the first sentence in Alan's reading was strong. He read, we cannot, this is powerful, we cannot simultaneously set boundaries and take care of other people's feelings, because the two of them do not, they contradict. That's what he said. The two acts are contradictory. Basically, we cannot look after someone else better than they can look after themselves. So be okay with letting them take care of their feelings about your boundaries. Setting boundaries and taking care of someone's feelings is a really tough balance to really strike. I used to try that. People please doesn't work if you want to be respected. We all want to be there for someone else sometimes. Yet sometimes it's hard to know how far is too far to take us out of our comfortability, if you will. We don't have to be or do that at the expense of our own happiness, though, right? We shouldn't have to do that. If we truly want to be happy, it's important to remember that in order to be truly looking after someone else, we must learn first to set our healthy boundaries for ourselves. We first, because it's like, put the, what is it on the plane, put the mask on the child first. No, you don't do that. You love your child. You first, because without you, there is no child to grow up with a mama or a daddy. So caring works, he says. Caretaking doesn't. We can learn to walk between those two lines. And you know, walking the line for me is something like, I know as I continue to practice and evolve, maybe a particular friend of mine may not go as far as I go. And so that's okay. But if they still expect me to be on that level that I was on years ago, they're going to be disappointed and they may not be happy with me, but that's okay. It's different now. So when I evolve, I don't expect other people to evolve. I'm not going to tell people what they need to do, you know. But if I know that I refuse to allow myself to feel projection, I know it's my right. And that's the confidence you want to build for yourself. So once I speak my truth, I stay out of people's feelings about it. That's all you can do. Now, setting boundaries also helps us to connect with other people in a healthy way and for all concerned, everybody. If you're in a group, everybody set those boundaries in the beginning. I know in consciousness meeting, we say things like, make sure that you are not chopping up someone else. You're giving everybody a chance. You're listening to other people. These are part of boundaries that we need to start and set them in the beginning. It's very, very difficult to create a positive and supportive environment if we're not going to be honest with ourselves or other people, right? So instead of trying to take care of another person's feelings, like Alan's reading refers to, I just distance myself from people who do not choose to be authentically connected with me, and I'm okay with that. And you know what? I'm telling you something else though. Ultimately, it creates an environment that is fulfilling for both of us. I'm happy where I'm at, they're happy where they are, and it's okay. So, you know, another thing, if you're having trouble with that, just know this. In spiritual practices, we go within to the center of our being where honesty and authenticity lives. Our boundaries live there too. So it's important to know our boundaries and to express our boundaries, what? Authentically. So we are respectful and we feel respected. So it's giving and receiving respect. Easy. Therefore, we should take time in spiritual practice if we want to identify and be authentic and be honest and set boundaries with confidence. So that way we get to share in our relationships, and we're so carefree with each other. You ever had the tension between two people because you know you have not spoken about those boundaries? You know, in couples, they have not said, this is mine, this is yours. They have started it off with no boundaries in place. And so long when that stuff that you used to do before was cute, now it's no longer cute because now you're frustrated. That's not what it's about. Getting clarity with boundaries is authentic and honest with people, right? But the biggest thing is staying in touch with ourselves and being able to communicate. That's the big thing we want to be able to do. And then we can understand our boundaries and why we set them, right? And this also applies to love, you know, self-love, you know, love of other people, and the whole 9 yards. So if we're knowing that we're setting our boundaries and we're being honest and we're being open to people, then we know all is well. So that being said, so far, we got another piece to setting boundaries or getting clear with boundaries, and we're still in Women's History Month, right? So Dr. Wanda is about to reveal a few advantages of having some other types of boundaries where it has to be for the good of the world. So she's talking about a woman, Elizabeth Petrovich. And when you listen to her give the account on Elizabeth Petrovich, then you will be able to intently find out what boundaries did this woman want to create and did create. So Miss Petrovich called for boundaries to be set by the world, for the world, and of the world. So Dr. Wanda, please unmute yourself and please make it happen for us. And let me know when you are ready, Dr. Wanda.
I am ready. What a great talk. I love that. It's you know, boundaries is an interesting thing. There's so many different kinds. But I'm going to talk about certain boundaries that are begging to be broken. Elizabeth Wanamaker Petrovich was born on July 4th, 1911 in St. Petersburg and in Petersburg, Alaska, as a member of the Tlingit Nation. And with her Indian name meant person who packs for themselves, but she was orphaned at a young age and adopted by Andrew, who was a fisherman and a Presbyterian lay minister, and Jean Wanamaker, who gave her a new Caucasian name, Elizabeth Jean, because many of the orphaned Native American children were placed in Caucasian homes. She graduated from high school, she went to college, and then she finally met her husband. And his name, excuse me, he was, they both were from a small town of Klawik in Alaska, but they decided to move to Juneau because they wanted more opportunities for their children. And so they were, excuse me, my throat here. Anyway, they wanted to have more opportunities for their children. And what happened was that when they arrived in Juneau, they found out that Native people were not welcome there. In addition to being unable to own homes in nice neighborhoods or to enroll their children in public schools, Native American people encountered no natives allowed signs almost everywhere they went. They were kept out of public spaces, hotels, restaurants, movie theaters. So she was called to action. She decided to petition Alaskan Governor Ernest Gruen to introduce the first Anti-Discrimination Act of 1945, the first of its kind in an American territory or state. The boundaries of natives not allowed was not for her. The groundbreaking law prohibited discrimination in public accommodations and facilities. She also played a critical role in the law's passage, providing powerful testimony before the state Senate at a hearing to determine the legislation's fate. Who are these people barely out of savagery who want to associate with us whites with 5,000 years of recorded civilization behind us? Senator Alan Shattuck said, who opposed the law's passage. But she responded gently, quietly, and firmly. I would not have expected that. I, who am barely out of savagery, would have to remind a gentleman with 5,000 years of recorded civilization behind him of the Bill of Rights. The bill passed 11-5 on February 8th, 1945. And today, Alaska celebrates Petrovich's as a fighter in velvet gloves. But what's more important is that this was the first act for civil rights that was passed 20 years before the civil rights in the United States. She actually was asked to testify at the civil rights hearings for the US. So she talked about herself, her friends, her children, and the cruel treatment that consigned Alaska Natives to second-class citizenship. She described to the state Senate what it means to be unable to buy a house in a decent neighborhood because natives aren't allowed to live there. She described how children feel when they are refused entrance into movie theaters or see signs in shop windows that read "No dogs or natives allowed." They say that her testimony was partially responsible for the passing of the Civil Rights Act. So we consider her our own little Rosa Parks. So right here and right now, what I need to say for myself is that those kinds of boundaries, boundaries that diminish other human beings and separate us into a duality and in fear and in not forgetting that we are human beings. Human rights are what we all deserve. And right now with Women's Month, human rights are women's rights as well. And it's something that we need to be working on and breaking those boundaries that are being set for us by people who should not be setting them. And so that's my statement for the day. That's a boundary that I'm getting ready to break myself. So right here and right now, I am pleased to announce that in 2020, they actually honored her in the United States by putting her picture on a $1 coin. So that's it for boundary breaking or boundary setting. The boundary that should be set is all human beings deserve respect and the same rights.
Fabulous. That was just beautiful, Dr. Wanda. That had definitely a whole lot to do with getting clear with boundaries. And she, if nobody else, was clear. So thank you for that. It was beautiful, Dr. Wanda. I really loved it. So now let's just remember this week that a great spiritual practice for gaining confidence and then for making brave gestures is getting in touch with your spiritual practices, getting in touch with yourself, because it takes a lot of courage and it takes bravery in order to really set your boundaries with certain people. Some people need it for bosses, you know, maybe the boss, maybe some other people that you feel is very harder to deal with, but being brave requires spiritual practice. Trust me on that one. It really does work when you get it enough, right? So getting clarity helps you speak with bravery. So I want you to listen to this next song, and this next song is going to help you maybe feel brave in a fun way. So let's go with that song. Yes. I just want to see you be brave. I love her. I just love her. I can't say her last name, but I know her name is Sarah Bareilles. But I love her. So if you find yourself the backlash of somebody's lack of love, go within, come out, and just say what you want to say and just let the words fall. Because she wants to see us be brave. Yay. So I'm going to turn this mic back to our fabulous Reverend Catherine, and she is going to take us to the end.
Wow, what a beautiful song that was. And I love that idea of being brave. And in the very first sentence of that song, she said, speak love. What a wonderful spiritual practice, don't you think? Speak love and be brave. Wow, thank you so much, Reverend Rosedale, for a beautiful talk and wonderful music. I love this community, and it's so wonderful to be a part of this community. And so now it's my pleasure to invite this community to help support the whole community and to support the ongoing of these kinds of broadcasts and the service that is done here at CSL Charlotte. And so in order to engage this community in the preparation towards the succession of future generations and leaders that are created to fully integrate, teach, and expose the science of mind principles, we make donations of our time, our talent, and our treasure. And that is something that's welcomed by people who not only see and feel the need for a community like this, but people like you who want to be part of a community like this. And you're here because you already are. And so it's my pleasure to invite you to support this community through your time, your talent, and your treasure. Your time can look like volunteering. So can your talent. If you're really good at something in particular, like website building, or music, or that kind of thing, talk to Reverend Rosedale about how you might be able to volunteer your time and your talent. And then, of course, we need your treasure, because those are the things that keep this center going. And so you can do that by going to the website, cslcharlotte.org, and pressing this donate button. And you can donate there by credit card, by a check made payable to CSL Charlotte. You can even donate through Zelle or Venmo. And you'll find all of that here on the website. And now it's my joy to invite you to recite our affirmative giving affirmation together. We know that we prosper collectively and individually. We know that as we take care of ourselves, all the good action that we take blesses this entire community. And we know that giving is reciprocal. It's a circle that's unbroken. So as we give, we step into that flow, and we also open ourselves up to receive. So when we give to this community, we know that the center is always going to be here in full operation. And we know that that abundance and that good shows up in our life as well. So join me now as we recite this affirmative giving affirmation. Prosperity and abundance flows from the law of circulation of giving and receiving. As I give to the Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte, I give of my time, talent, and treasure, which opens the path to my grateful return of good 7 times or more in my life. I'm grateful for the universal power that exists to continuously open the path for all prosperity and abundance that all of us receive, and I now prosper. And now, as we move back into that sacred place within, that place where we know that spark of the divine lives and shines always and in all ways, I know that I am connected to the one. I am one with the one, as is each person here. And I know that in this awareness, there is abundance, there is bounty. Everything that I need is available to me right here and right now. And not only do I know this for me, I know this for each person here, that good of God unfolds in so many ways. And one of those ways is abundance and richness. And that richness shows up in so many avenues. And so I know that as I look around, I see the millions of grains of sand on the beach. I see the beautiful flowers that are starting to come up. I see the millions of raindrops that come down as it rains. I look at my circle of friends and I see so many people supporting me. I see abundance everywhere I look. And what I know is the more I see, the more I see. And so I know this for each person here. That good, that abundance, those blessings flow into each person's life, and they multiply as we live in that circle, that unbroken circle, that flow of good. And so I'm grateful for each person's contribution today to the Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte. I'm grateful knowing that gift goes forward and does good work, and it continues to touch more and more and more people. It's like a stone thrown into a pond. That ripple goes on and on and on and touches so many. And so with a heart full of gratitude for those blessings that just blanket this world, I give great thanks. And I just release my word to that law of mind, calling it good because I know that it is. And so it is. Amen. And now it's my pleasure to turn the microphone over to Tim, who's going to tell us about all the amazing things that are happening here at CSL Charlotte.
Thank you so much, Reverend Catherine. Good afternoon, morning, day, everyone. Thank you to all of our friends joining us here live on Zoom and also on our social media platforms. We're so happy that you chose to join us today. On the screen, you see our social media links. Our main link on the top is our website. This is where we want you to go to sign up to make sure that you receive all of our information. When you visit the page, a form will appear that allows you to enter your contact information and express your interest to keep up with the happenings in our community. We would love for you to fill out that form and add yourself to our list so that you can receive all of our announcements. Check your email inbox often because we post announcements throughout the week. The second way we want you to connect is via our social media Facebook page. We post inspirational quotes, announcements there as well. We invite you to engage with us and share our posts with your friends and just engage with us throughout the week. Our services are recorded each week and uploaded to our YouTube channel. There you will find about 6 months worth of services that you can go back and listen to at any time. We do this every week, so avail yourself of that if you happen to be away on vacation and need to listen to one of the replays. We also ask for you to engage with our meetup group. I mentioned that the system relies on algorithms and our activity and participation to allow us to reach more people. So we invite you to log in maybe once a week and just let the system know that you're attending this meeting, the Tuesday meeting, so that your friends see it, they'll get curious, and then they'll come pop in and visit with us. So we appreciate your engagement. Here's a picture of our website. I'm going to focus mostly on the More page in the upper right-hand corner, but this is the site that will greet you when you visit our website. So let me make my screen bigger. Okay, so again, we want you to stay informed and connected. I want to pause here and say, once again, thank you all for your donations. In the coming weeks, you're going to hear us talk a little bit about donations and our vision to really build up our vision for a hybrid community. We can't do that without your support. We have needs in technology, real estate, all these good things that we've been researching. So stay tuned. But I want to let you know that we're grateful for your support and look forward to your continued support as we build upon our vision. So you'll find more about that on our website, our social media pages that you just heard me talk about. So when you visit our website, you will find links to all of our social media pages on the bottom left-hand corner. We place them there for your convenience. So you can launch any one of our channels by just visiting our website. Again, subscribing is important so that you don't miss any information. You've heard us mention a couple of times that Tuesday is a special day for us. We have 2 events that happen on Tuesdays. The first one I'll talk about is our consciousness meeting. This happens at 6 p.m. Eastern time. This is where we come together to experience phenomenal shifts, demonstrations, and manifestations in our lives. Today, as we talked about boundaries and how that shores up our authenticity, I'm sure you will hear us speak about that on Tuesday. We also have an opportunity for live guided meditation experience. We also have an opportunity for us to bring our concerns or praise reports and place them in the circle. And we focus all of our attention on our friends that we place in the circle, knowing that their lives are being impacted. If it's us placing ourselves in the circle, we know that our lives are going to change and our conditions improve based on the self-work, the spiritual focus work that we're doing in our communities. So we want you to be there. To do so, follow the More tab, find the weekly meetings and event link. There you will find a link for the consciousness meeting. You click on it, a subscription page is going to come up. You enter your contact information and we will receive that request, add you to that distribution list, and we'll make sure that you receive the logistics. It's important that you do that because the link for that meeting is separate from the meeting that you joined today. So we want you to be there, so make sure you sign up and get added to the list. Stay tuned for upcoming certificated classes. We don't have any scheduled right at this moment, but more will come soon. The other Tuesday opportunity is our Heartbeat Poetry Club. In our community, we have several poets that are talented and love sharing their talents with us. At 1 p.m. Eastern Time, we meet and we invite anyone that is interested in just hanging out with us to join us. On the website, if you go to the More tab, there's a weekly meeting and events link, and you'll find a Heartbeat Poetry Club request form, and fill that out. That lets us know that you're interested, and we'll send you the logistics for that meeting. Again, it's a separate Zoom meeting link, so you want to make sure that you let us know that you're interested, and we'll make sure you have that information. Our services are recorded each week in audio and video format. Both are accessible from our webpage. When you click the More tab, you'll find a link for Sunday service video or audio, and you can access these on any of your electronic devices. Our audio opportunities are there for about a month, 4 weeks of services, and YouTube, again, goes back about 6 weeks. So we encourage you to visit. If you follow our video page to YouTube, we encourage you to like, subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you'll get notified as we upload videos each week. And again, we rely on our algorithms there to broaden our reach. So we appreciate you helping us out with that. We have 2 prayer opportunities that I want to highlight for you. The first is after today's service, you are able to receive a live prayer with one of our prayer practitioners. It is our gift to give you a 3-minute prayer with one of our practitioners. If you are interested in prayer today, our prayer room technician today is Jerry Campbell. You can now let her know that you're interested. She'll add you to the list, and we'll make sure to link you up with one of our practitioners. You'll hear more about this shortly. The second opportunity is a prayer request form that's available on our website. Throughout the week, we all have needs, concerns, praise reports, and we ask you to just visit our website, cslcharlotte.org, and follow the prayer request link, and you can fill out a short form to let us know what you want us to hold in consciousness for you. Maureen Thurston is our prayer tree arborist, and she receives the prayers along with the rest of our prayer team, and a prayer is written, prayed over, and returned to you so that you can actually read your own personal prayer throughout the week. I can assure you from personal experience that it is amazing, and we want everyone to take advantage of this opportunity throughout the week. So it is my honor to invite Maureen to come and provide us with an update on our prayer tree.
Thank you, Tim. We are at 353.
All right. Amazing, amazing. Thank you for the service that you provide to our community. I know that it is very much appreciated by all of those that have availed ourselves of the opportunity. So
I appreciate being able to do that.
All right. So now we ask Reverend Rosedale to unmute as we turn the platform back to her.
He's the best. He knows I'm muted because I know no noise. Thank you, Timmy P, for those announcements and inviting everybody, and Mo for all those prayers you do for this community. So if you haven't received a prayer request from us through the email, you have not put in a prayer request, because that beautiful lady, Maureen Thurston, Mo, will definitely send you something back. And she sends it to me. I read it and pray with it. You are getting double whammies, baby. So put it in. Okay, everybody, make sure you do that because you want it. You do. And now the other thing I want to just tell you is this is the time that we talk about birthdays and celebrations and stuff like that. So if that's the case, put your birthday in the Zoom. All righty. So guys, just like Timmy P said, we ask to talk about the donations because we are visioning about going abroad across the country, still larger, but in house. There are a lot of people who are not very fluid with the online and internet that ask me constantly about, are you in person yet? And even people before, when I was in Florida, they would fly over to Florida to visit the community. So people will come to an in-person when they come visit Charlotte. Many people ask about that as well. So, you know, it takes funds, it takes people, and it takes dedication for all of us to do that. But one of the biggest things, like Timmy P said, your donations will count, and they will really, truly help to just let us fulfill that vision for the world, because CSL Charlotte is a very important community, as is a lot of other spiritual communities, but we are choosing to be out there. And so that is what we're asking. So as always, thank you for your donations anyway. And I want to thank you in advance for your donations as well. So now it's time to thank our platform team. So to Reverend Catherine, what a beautiful creature she is. She was beautiful today as being our MC. And Alan, you did such a great job on that reading, man. Woo! And thanks, Timmy P. The way you invite people, I would want to jump in. I would be wanting to jump in through the screen just to be a part of this community. I love your inviting words and the way you do that. Wonderful. And thank you, Groovy G, for keeping everyone engaged on Facebook and keeping our sound in check. And thanks, Melissa, for greeting and spotlight. And thanks, Wanda, Dr. Wanda, for that woman's history moment. It was really fulfilling to me. And then to our emeritus, Mo, I have to tell her again, our spiritual practitioner, Maureen Thurston. Mo, thank you so much for being here and doing what you do. And also somebody's missing. Oh, and Reverend Millie for being our prayer coordinator. So again, in advance, Groovy G, thank you for doing live prayer tech today. So we have this all said and everybody's thanked, because one of the things I have to do is do that gratitude. Gratitude is so important to me. Now, to our entire fabulous congregation, remember, put in your prayer request. Go out there today, www.cslcharlotte.org. Subscribe and put in a prayer request today, or subscribe just to be a part of the community, or subscribe and say, I would like to see you go in person and go hybrid, because basically that's what it is. And with the hybrid, we are looking at having the greatest top-notch technology. And it does require at least, I'm looking at numbers now, at least between 75,000 to 100,000 just to get started. And I know it's so doable, because you all have the means to put those donations in CSL Charlotte to get us out there on the map. Not only do you have the means to do it, but you also would like to see this happen in your life. What about the people you're going to be an ancestor for? Because I'm quite sure if my mom knew this it was about, she would have been a part of it herself. So now we know what good it could do for our offspring. At the end of this service, we are going to be having that live prayer. Remember, it takes a minute to get a good prayer, but a 3-minute session with someone is still doable. I'm so happy with Maureen last week that she did a 3-minute prayer for this woman who told me it was phenomenal. She came in a consciousness meeting and let us know it felt really good. So do stay at the end of our consciousness meeting. And I forgot to tell you that too, Mo. Mo, thank you for that. So before we close out, remember the words getting clarity with boundaries are just something you probably want to remember this week. So I challenge you to take a moment this week just to remember what time of day, where you are, and stop and get clarity with yourself. Because if you're upset about anything between you and another person, know that there is not clarity with boundaries, right? That's right. You would not be upset with people if they did not know your boundaries. If they knew your boundaries and you said to them, right? So just enjoy that time this week. But so now know this, If there's other things that you didn't get a chance to do with people, or maybe it wasn't the right time or whatever have you, remember, you get all of your matches through a happy spirit. So if you continue, and I know it sounds so cliche, but I'm telling you, I am so happy these years. The last couple of years, I have become such a happy person that all of my attractions just come to me. They will happen for you as well, but you got to get happy first, right? So this last song that we're going to do, we're going to get you started with being happy. Happiness brings on more happiness. So let's get with this last song, and then Dr. Wanda is going to pray us out. You look so much better when you smile. You look so much better when you, oh. You look so much better when you groovy, go groovy. I see you. You look so This is fabulous, y'all. Anyway, we could be here all day with that, but it should put you in a certain mood. So please get in that mood. I don't care what you got to do, get there, because your life will never be the same again when you get into that.
Okay. Oh, wow. What a great service today. Thank you for that talk. Thank everyone for being here today. And so right here, right now, I just settle into the energy of that smile. Whoa. And so right here, right now, what I know is that I heard exactly what I needed to hear today at the level of my own personal awareness and my personal connection with spirit. And I know that the idea of boundaries is so multifaceted. There are healthy boundaries, there are unhealthy boundaries. Some boundaries call for civil disobedience. And any boundary that inhibits or diminishes another group of people or another human being is unacceptable. And so, right here and right now, and I know that the reason it is unacceptable is because we are all one. You are me. I am you. There is no separation. The very air that we breathe is passing back and forth between us like the glue that holds us together. We can't escape one another. We are each a link in the chain of life. We are bound together forever. For all of infinity, we come from infinity. We come from a power and presence that is always everywhere present. And so we cannot escape that. So it doesn't matter what we think, what we believe, what we've set up for ourselves. What matters is that we hear what we need to hear when we join groups like this every week. And I know that this is a wonderful, safe place to be. And I am so grateful and honored to be here each week. So right here and right now, I accept the boundaries of love and respect, in joy and recognition and valuing others. Those are healthy boundaries. And anytime someone else's behavior, not their personhood, not their humanity, not their connection to me, but their behavior inhibits my personal growth or my ability to live my life fully, happily, easily, I can love them from afar. I still send them love because love is the strongest energy in the world. I want to infect the world with love. We need to pass the virus of love all over the world. There is no vaccination for love. Love is what it is, and that's it. So right here, right now, I accept that as a truth, and I give thanks, and I feel blessed. I'm taking this out into the world today, and my mantra today, every time I see someone is, you are me, I am you, I love you. Be grateful. And so it is.
Yeah, you are me, I am you. That's it, baby. That's why we got that.
I am you.
Yes, indeed. So everybody,
I love you. I love you.
I love you.
And
And you
this
know,
is sign of love.
love is
I
a
love you.
powerful thing, man. It's a powerful thing, y'all. And let spirit have its way when people start talking about love instead of going, oh God, no, with it. It's a beautiful thing, right? So let's enjoy
Love
it.
is all there is.
That's
Love
right. Love
is all
is.
there is. And
Love
like
is
love
all.
has no room in Wonder World.
That's right. Wonderful. Thank you. Oh, that was good. We just let this thing go through because sometimes that spirit moves through us. You just got to do that, right? So that all said, thank you, Dr. Wanda, for that pray out. And right. So the next thing we're going to do is start to weed out. I'm going to say, you know, I'm going to say bye. No, I know I'm supposed to do that. But actually, I know that it's time for Reverend Millie. So before I bring up Reverend Millie, I'm going to say this. I love everybody. This was fabulous. I know that everybody was filled to the brim with all kinds of love and whatever they needed. So I'm expecting you to shine this week and smile. So that being said, go away smiling, and Reverend Millie, come forward and get us ready so that Groovy G could do the prayer tag. Yeah.